Hello out there. It is me, Coach Kevin. Well, my voice anyway. You see this? This is a visual representation of fractions. This is a mess. This is a visual representation of fractions. One of the things I like about these tiles we received is it lets us visualize things differently. So, a fifth and a fifth, which happen to be green on these tiles, a fifth and a fifth are 2/5. This is now 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. Now, some of you notice it's so very satisfying to see these things line up. And we are lucky because sometimes we have more than a whole set. For example, do you know what this is now? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You represent that like this, 6/5. Now, sometimes we're lazy and we don't want to say 6/5, so we say 1 and 6/5. It's way easier. So it's 1 and 1/5. I think I misspoke. The other thing to keep in mind, I like to see this one. I call that a supergiant 1. I don't know if I invented that or if someone else said it and I stole it, but I'm using it. So inside of that supergiant 1, there's these 5/5 that make up 1. See, I can hide it, and it's still there. So 6/5 is the same as 1 and 1/5. And when I'm gonna move this. So when you talk about fractions on a number line, it would look like this, and that's 0. 1/5, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Now, what we do when you have 6/5, what happened was you started at 0, you went 1, 2, 3/5, 4, 5/5, aka supergiant 1, and then here. So if you had to represent it on a number line, that's 1 and 1/5. And, the other thing that's neat about fractions is you can represent it like this. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus, you got it, plus that there, plus 1/5 plus 1/5. 6. This is a sum, which means addition, of unit fractions. Now, unit fractions are anything that has a 1 in the numerator. Unit fraction, unit fraction, unit fraction, because they all have 1 as the unit. So anytime you hear a unit fraction, it means the numerator is 1. Doesn't matter what the denominator is, it's a unit fraction. The other thing that we do besides a sum of unit fractions is product of a whole number and a unit fraction. And a unit fraction. Now, I didn't leave myself much space, but that's the beauty of the product of a whole number and a unit fraction, is because it's like this. 6 times 1/5 equals 6/5 equals, remember? Yeah. So when you're doing fraction work, the main ways we can do it is the sum of unit fractions. I'll do another one. Or product of a whole number and a unit fraction. But this time, instead of fifths, let's do, hopefully I have enough tenths. I haven't really looked. Let's do eighths. 1, 2, wait a minute. I also want to show you this. 2/8 is 1/4. That's hard to read, but that's a fourth. Okay, well, let's get back to eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So remember, the first one is sum of unit fractions. And if you have these fraction tiles, you could kind of just be clever and lazy and do this, right? But you might not have that in every part of your life or ever, unless you're at school. So let's do 1/8 plus 1/8 and again, because it's the way we do it, and I am almost done with this. Yay! All right, equals 10/8. Now, 10/8 is, oh, let's do the other, what's the other method called? Product. Product of a whole number and a unit fraction. And that looks like this. 10 times 1/8. Because if you think about it, how many 1/8 did I start with? Well, I started with 1, but I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And mathematicians, I like to say mathematicians are lazy. And if there's a shortcut to be had, a lot of mathematicians are going to take the shortcut. And when you have 10 times 1/8, it's 10 over 8. Because this 10 is kind of like this, 10 over 1. Think of it that way. Or don't think of it that way. But 10 times 1/8 is 10/8. Now the tricky thing is, do you remember that once you've assembled 8 eighths, you have a supergiant 1. Close. Yeah, even better. Now here's something, I'm going to leave you with this. Do you remember that 2/8 is equal to something else? You could say 2/8, but that's not as simple as possible. It's simpler to say that. So, hopefully that helps, except for the glare. That's all right. Well, best we can do under these circumstances. Okay, there you go. Overview of the two different types of representing fractions as a sum of unit fractions and a product of whole number and unit fractions, plus how to simplify fractions. If you have 2/8, it's the same as 1/4. So you can just scoot these out of the way, and there's your answer. All right, hope you're doing well. Aloha, au revoir.